Elaine,
Yes.
you're in the forest. It's a deep, deep, dark forest.
Ooh.
And there's a fork in the road. There's two paths diverging in the woods.
Oh.
One it's got some gravel on it. It's well traveled. There's a little dog poop bag that someone didn't carry fully to the trash can.
Ugh.
On the other side, it's dark. Is that eyes staring at me from the... Oh, goodness. But maybe there could be something special. Elaine, what path do you pick?
This is hard because the crunch of gravel soothes me because it feels like I'm stepping on bones.
Even better, later down, you get one of those little bridges that aren't bridges over anything. They're just logs you get to step on.
God, are those my favorite? Those are my favorite. But I am intrigued by the darkness in the eyes. So I think I'll go that way.
You lift up your iron lantern. You have a candle in, just for scene setting.
Yeah. It's 3 p.m. in the day, but I'm doing, yeah.
Yeah, it's very Maurice from Beauty and the Beast is what I'm picturing. Is that his name?
Yes. Crazy old Maurice.
Yes.
Yes.
Elena's Maurice coded. I don't know what that means, but I just...
I'm serving you right. Crazy old Maurice energy.
You're serving Maurice. It's giving Maurice. I'm just saying, in like a Broadway adaptation, you could play a good Maurice. Like if it was like a high school, you know what I mean? Like I feel like, and I mean this in the kindest way in the world, the musical directors would give you Maurice.
Yes.
They'd be like, she can do that. She can handle that. I think she can pull that off.
And yet, if it was Les Mis, they'd be like, that's Jean Valjean right there. I get it. I see it. You know?
It's a vibe.
It's a weird energy, and it just clicks. Yeah.
It's like whenever I auditioned for things, they were like, that's an 8-year-old boy. Every time I audition, they're like, that's an 8-year-old boy right there.
8-year-old boy, go.
8-year-old boy, do your little dance.
Do your little dance. So I'm in the, ooh, it's spooky and dark, and there's eyes.
You keep going. Crunch, crunch under your feet. What is that? There's actually gravel here too. It's just there wasn't much lighting. So there's also gravel.
Best of both worlds for me.
And it turns out, surprise, there's another log bridge. So you got the best of both worlds.
Perfect.
And you get a unique scenic experience. And what's at the end of it? The Wonka well. Sure, it's the Wonka wells at the end of it.
Cool.
And out from the Wonka well, rising, like the water rises up in the Wonka well and starts to overflow. And out with the water overflowing comes, you see, oh my God, what is that? Is that a torso? Is that a man? No. Is that a horse, man? Adam Driver Centaur. It's been a bit since you've been here.
He's like birthing Venus? What the fuck?
I don't know. I did not. I thought I had more of a plan for this than I did.
Adam Driver Seahorse?
Oh, layers have been added. All right, so he's like, Elaine, this is the Wonka well. Adam Driver Centaur sounds like. One of my friends said he sounds like Kermit the Frog, but like sexy, and I've never stopped thinking about that.
Oh, I really hate that description.
All right, so that's the intro. Didn't really have a plan for that one. If you guys couldn't tell, I was flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. Ooh,
oh my goodness!
How
there's a breeze in the cheeks, eh?
What? Okay. So today's episode is about choices, and that choice being the choices we will make today in the Choose Your Own Adventure. That used to be a feature on the Wonka website. That Wild World Wonka / Greyhound Wonka. I called him Greyhound Wonka again last episode, and it's pissing me off.
But everyone else is referring to him as Greyhound Wonka. And I
know.
think this is a battle you're going to lose.
I think
unfortunately.
It is. I just want it to be comprehensible for someone who hasn't seen the original episode. You know what I mean?
You hop into any fucking episode on this podcast aside from the first 5, I would say, and they're gonna mostly be lost. It'll take us, they'll pick up on it. I believe in you, listener. I don't know if you should like the weight of Greyhound Wonka should be such a burden upon you.
I know. I just like things to be clear, and I like things to be accessible. It's like whenever I go to use Greyhound Wonka, my in progress MLIS comes knocking on my back door. It's like, hey, Felicia. Well, that's not as understandable as it could be. Isn't there a much clearer and less confusing option? And it's like, I feel like I'm betraying my professional code of ethics.
Right. If it makes you feel better, I don't think enough people know Wild World.
I know, but if you search up Wild World Wonka, you can get something. If you search up Greyhound Wonka on Google, you get fucking nothing.
Not yet. We're going to change the SEO and then change the world.
We got to make our own fucking wiki. I have thought about it. Is that bad that I thought about making a wiki for my own podcast?
I'm so into it. I love it.
I love doing that shit for fun. How did we get here? Wonka Watch.
Wonkanizer.
Wonkanizer. Is that what it's called? What did
we
you
just
say?
said it in unison and it was horrifying. Yeah, it's called Wonkanizer. The unpredictable Wonkanizer.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It sounded like we said the same thing.
No, we didn't, but that was fun.
Okay.
So this was sent in by our listener, Micah. And Micah, thank you so fucking much. I'm so happy that you've sent this to me. I was not aware of this. I'm very excited. Very excited to dive into this. But before we get into that, oh my God.
What's this podcast about? You're right. This is Wonka Watch, the podcast about two people who really didn't think they cared about the Wonkaverse until they realized a prequel's in the making starring Timothée Chalamet, and they were like, what? Sure, I guess we'll talk about it. Now we have almost 52 episodes coming up here in a couple months, so we did it. Y'all didn't think we could, but we proved you wrong.
I had someone at work ask me the other day, how long have you been doing your Wonka podcast? And I had to say, almost a year. And they went, wow.
Wild stuff.
We're not new friends anymore. We can't pretend. We're just actual friends.
Care about what's happening in your life. You have to care about what's happening in my life. It's like, now the unfun part of friendship. Ooh, I'm going to pour me a lovely little glass of grape juice, and I've got some little cheese cubes. I'm heading out to my porch for my big old patio party.
I guess she got out of the forest, so.
I got out of the forest, and I come across a magical charcuterie party. And what is this in this Tupperware? It's also a Tupperware party, and they're trying to sell me the Tupperware. I pop it in the microwave that exists outside, and I hit 55 seconds, and when I pull it out, I got a steaming, hot, juicy slice of Wonka Watch news.
Welcome to Wonka Watch, the segment of Wonka Watch where we talk about all the latest and greatest news of Wonka Watch. But guys, we have something. You're right. It's a good plate of Wonka Watch. I would say this is a stove cooked Wonka Watch. This is better than microwave Wonka Watch.
Oh shit.
This is good. There's no little cold divots in this. This is some fresh fucking news.
Crispy.
Timothée Chalamet is October's British Vogue cover, and because of that, they did a very intense profile with him written by Giles Hattersley. And this is, I'm going to say to everybody listening to the podcast, this is one of those profiles that I cannot stand celebrity profiles because they write them like they're a fictional character. And they're like, we're peeling back the layers of celebrity. And in doing so, they create an even bigger cult of celebrity. It's just like, you're not talking about this like a person, dude. No. And I have picked out some of the most egregious statements from it in kind of a way to make fun of it. Because
amazing.
What are we doing? But Timothée Chalamet did share information about Wonka. Not much, but a little morsel.
Ooh, added to the charcuterie board.
So, he's the first single male, not like single relationship wise, but like the only guy person on the cover of a Vogue thing. Wouldn't that be funny? They were like, all the other British male cover Vogue stars have been married. So,
and you're fucking single.
Sucks to be you.
Congrats.
Sucks to be you. You know. So it's written very prose-like, and this is the way to describe it. He arrives, a princeling in jeans and a rock metal t-shirt, bounding sprite-like from one of those blacked-out Cadillac tanks preferred by the famous, reluctant or otherwise. His body language is a joy to behold, as he bounces into Champs, a vegan diner in Brooklyn, somehow channeling both a street-style star and Buster Keaton.
So I have to pause. Did you say princeling?
Yeah.
And the word sprite also came out. Princeling and sprites.
Princeling and sprite-like. They said, get this boy back to fucking Pixie Hollow.
Yeah, like that is the most flowery, like,
they're like, it's giving Terrence. I don't know what else you want to say. That's a specific reference no one is going to get, but I got it.
I wanted to be there for you, though.
He's the only male named fairy in the entire Pixie Hollows franchise. I had a big book about Pixie Hollow. I was really into it.
That's
fucking rich in that online game.
Oh.
So the author also kind of roasts him in this, which is wild. Like, I'm like, This is weird. So he said, it should be noted that Timothée Chalamet's default setting is uncertainty. Thoughtful, courteous, smart, absolutely. Able to articulate a definite opinion about anything? Absolutely not. If I read that about myself.
Also, you're grabbing vegan food with him. You don't know him? Like, what? Like, you're grabbing lunch, it sounds like,
yes,
right?
Like, I understand it in interview context, I guess is what he's trying to say, but it is still... I will say the only thing I actually judge Timothée Chalamet for is that he said he prefers to stay in hotels than a permanent residence, which is wild to me. I cannot understand that. But you know what? You live your best life.
Is that what it does, apartments, essentially.
He's like, I have an apartment,
and...
but I like hotels. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, this is the most fucking insane part of the article. His small talk has this habit of pulling at the fabric of time and space.
What?
You're the captain of your fate, he says excitedly at one point. Master of your fate, captain of your soul. Like those things where you can draw with both knobs. An Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh my God.
Exactly. You shake it up and then it's gone. You can't just keep building on the same Etch-a-Sketch. And then the interviewer said, this analogy ends up haunting me for days.
I love that line, I will say, because it's like in a good way, in a bad way, in a you're fucking stupid way. Like, you have no idea.
Master of your fate, captain of your soul. You know, like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Wild
Fantastic.
stuff right there.
Fantastic.
Wild stuff.
So now we're on to some Wonka talk. When a first glimpse of him in costume surfaced online in crimson velvet smoldering under a top hat.
Ew.
Okay. That's not how I would describe that. The internet lost its mind. In this one, Wonka fucks, reads one memorable tweet. And the interviewer brought this up to him, and apparently Timothée Chalamet starts cracking up. You know, what's really funny about that is it's so misleading. This movie's so sincere, it's so joyous, which that's good. And I'm glad that he thought that was funny, because that makes me less concerned that, like, we would have a negative reception if for some reason he ever does know about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is just a sincere and joyous movie, which is nice. But I my only concern is I hope Wonka isn't like too Paddington Bear. Like, I hope he's still like egotistical and like
he needs to have an edge, and I think he will. I think we will get to have him experience a trauma that will harden him a little bit, but he'll still have hope, but he won't be the same. I think we'll have a weird ending too. I think it'll be an elusive, like, it is kind of closed, but it isn't.
It's called the we don't know if Timothée Chalamet is gonna be available for a sequel, but
essentially Hugo Loompa gets his own spinoff kind of shit, you know.
Yeah. So here's the big revelation from this article. How many musical numbers do you have? I want you to guess, Elaine. How many musical numbers does Timothée Chalamet have in the Wonka musical?
Him specifically. Assuming it's 2 hours and he's the main character, 1 has to go to a side character, 2 have to go to evil people. 8?
7. Very fucking close.
Yo! 7.
I'm going to be honest, 7 was more than I thought.
That's fair.
I think this movie is going to be longer than I think it is.
I think it's going to be long. I think it's going to be a long boy. I mean, if you're doing Wonka, it makes sense that, especially if they're, I mean, we'll have to find out, obviously, but if they're not doing a sequel, you might as well spend the money to throw it all in there at once, I guess, you know? So I don't know.
Half the interview, was also, I didn't include this, but it is important context for this next quote, was him just talking about like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do my taxes. Like I've done them. I just don't really understand them. And I'm trying to figure out how to like actually understand them. Like that was like half the interview was like I don't know how to be an adult and I'm trying to figure it out. And like relatable. I get you.
No one gets taxes. Yeah.
So then the interview said making it, but it was funny because he said that and he was like, I have paid them. Let me clarify. I have paid my taxes.
It's like, I'm doing my taxes, guys. I am doing my taxes.
I'm not committing tax fraud, I think. Like it was like, you know,
that's funny.
Making it provided a perfect situation for him. Escape. I hate to say it, but the dream as an artist is to throw whatever the fuck you want at the wall, you know? And I guess what I'm realizing is that one personal life, you know, one's adult life can be quite boring and the artist's life can still be extraordinary. Okay. And then I found, I don't know, man. I found one other interview, which was like a video interview about it was from the video, when Timothy met Edward, Vogue's October cover star gets candid over a vegan burger. This is with someone else. Only thing about Wonka that was mentioned is he said, I'm trying to go where it's not obvious to go. He says it's the eclectic CV that has set him on the path of becoming the actor of his generation. I feel like Wonka's symptomatic of that. Which, yeah. It's like, I will do something no one expects of me. Play Willy Wonka. Which I didn't expect it.
Fair. But that's why we're here.
Yeah. Diving into the meat of the episode proper. The Unpredictable Wonkanizer, which says Wonka Club W. So up here, Do you have it open, Elaine?
Oh, I do.
It is a bright purple page with yellow text. It's
nice.
Readable, but it's not pleasant. And it says Wonka Testers needed. There's a little bit of clip art, which is custom, but it doesn't look custom. It's some factory gates that appear to lead to nothing. With a red road leading up to them with a big sign that says Wonka Testers needed. So let's start reading. I guess we just start reading. This, I don't know how you accessed this or how this was advertised, but it's the Wonkanizer adventure. So
perfect.
Elaine, would you like to start us off?
I would love to. Wonka Testers needed. One day, as you stroll along the street, you notice a large purple sign hanging outside the Willy Wonka candy factory. Okay.
This is important to remember. This was made by the Wonka candy brand.
Candy brand. That makes sense.
So canonically, this is Wild World Wonka.
It's Disney World, Disneyland.
Yeah, it's
Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka Candy Factory.
It's because they were making fucking like... I was going to say gooblets. That's not a candy they made.
What the fuck is... What
are any of the candies they made? I can't remember any of them.
Good. Nerds ropes.
They were making nerds. So they can't say a chocolate factory when their main export is fucking nerds, you know?
Totally makes sense. I do love this idea in canon, though. There is a chocolate factory and a candy factory.
And that's his like annoying brother.
Yes.
They're rivals. New fan fiction.
Okay. The sign said something like this. We don't know for sure, even though it is clearly written here. Wonka Testers needed right away, so don't delay. I haven't got all day. Come try this exciting new opportunity. Is how it's actually spelled.
Wow.
Opportunity-tay. Woohoo!
Wow.
You think?
What's a Wonka tester?
Blip. The sign suddenly changes. We can't tell you exactly what a Wonka tester is, but we can say it's fun, exciting, and not too dangerous. You think?
I wonder if I'm qualified to be a Wonka tester.
Blop! The sign changes again! Don't be a pain in my hide. Of course you're qualified. Now it's time to Wonkanize. So knock. That didn't rhyme. Oh! That was me, not them.
Yeah.
With that, you knock on the factory gate. It opens with a whoosh. 5 Oompa Loompas stare back at you, blinking in the sunlight, and immediately pull you inside. This is a horror film.
Inside the factory.
Jesus fucking Christ, this is a horror film.
The sun in years.
It's not dangerous, we promise.
What the fuck? Oompa Loompa's like, I haven't seen the outside world since I was locked away in 2003.
They wildly steer you down a series of dark, winding tunnels. What have you gotten yourself into? You look up at the ceiling. It's oozing with chocolate. A big glob drips down and you catch it in your mouth. Yum! Well,
I'm eating the fucking ceiling drip chocolate, the fucking offshoots. That can't be healthy.
You can't.
Like
no,
water leak.
That shit's got asbestos in it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. I hate the word glob for that too. God. Well, whatever you've gotten yourself into, it tastes good so far. The Oompa Loompas walk you to a huge door labeled in shiny letters. Inventing room, do not disturb unless you are on official business or you have a very, very, very important question. In smaller, shiny letters, someone has added, Wonka testers may come and go as they please.
Wonka gets out his fucking glitter pen. His glitter gel pen. His sparkle Sharpie. And
Right? He's like, they need to be shinier. Every day there's one Oompa Loompa. This Oompa Loompa polishes my letters on the office every single day.
Or he's got like those fucking like silver paper classroom letters. He's like a letter punch that teachers have.
My God. The door swings open and the Oompas leave you standing in the middle of 3 towering vats bubbling over with goopy rainbow soups.
It's weird to hear them just called Oompas.
Soups. Yeah, that was weird, but goopy rainbow soups is a great band name. Sweet smells twirl around you as machines click and beep and shoot out piles of gobstoppers and nerds.
My Wonka Tester. Oh, who is that? I've never done that voice before.
Old Professor Wonka? Like, what?
Wonka Tester. What is... Okay, this is Wild World. Should I do my Christian Borle impression because it's the most solid?
I think that's what your heart will always desire, and I think you should follow it, yeah.
My Wonka Tester!
Shouts Willy Wonka as he smiles down at you. So he's taller than you no matter what. Yeah. I'm 5'8". He's smiling down at me. How tall do you have?
He's at least 5'9".
Yeah, people who are 5'9" totally loom over me and smile down at me. That's exactly what happens. No, they'd be like right above my nose being like, and I'd be like, you are really close right now. This is why I don't hang out with 5'9"ers, please. 5'11" and up, get out of here. Or you have to be 5'4" or shorter. I can't deal with the in-between. You're too close to my height.
I'm 5'2", so he's at least 5'6" if I'm the main character.
Perfect. Willy Wonka, as he smiles down at you, his purple suit dusted with green and yellow sugar powder. He lifts his left eyebrow and says,
"Oh, shit. Let's get to work, shall we?"
Okay, click here to continue.
Oh my God, guys.
Here we go. The adventure begins. Oh. I see a fanny pack radio moment.
Yeah. It's giving like one of those toys you give babies to play with in the car, but on a belt. If anyone, it's also giving me, if anyone knows about the niche West Virginia public radio show, The Time Belt, that you would know about from being within the McElroy podcast, like industrial complex since I was like 13. One of the McElroy brothers played the kid in this, I think it's Justin McElroy. No, it is Justin. I say that like I don't know. I do know. The Time Belt. It's fucking great. He plays like this 9-year-old who has to go back to Revolutionary War times and shoots a gun with George Washington.
Amazing.
And then his dad plays like this mad scientist. I've watched it like 3 times because it makes no sense. There's one part where he goes into a cabin and there's just a fucking clown. And I always think I dreamed that part, but it's real. Anyway, not the point.
This next page is called The Unpredictable Wonkanizer. With that, Willy hands you a silver belt. Attached to it like a belt buckle is a small purple box covered with assorted dials and blinking lights. It makes a quiet fizzing sound, like a freshly poured soda.
My Wonkanizer. Go ahead and put it on. I don't know who this Wonka is.
He grins proudly. You slip the belt with the Wonkanizer around your waist. It's heavy, but not so heavy that it makes you walk funny.
What?
Willy claps it. I hate that only referring to him as Willy is the worst.
It's, yeah.
Okay. Willy claps his hands together. Ugh. Happier than an Oompa Loompa swimming in a vat of fun dip.
I don't like that we're on a first name basis with... Normally you'd say Wonka claps his hands together.
I don't like happier than an Oompa Loompa swimming in a vat of fun dip. First off, you would probably choke and drown because it's powder. And then any lick, like you would get... Not my business.
It's just your size. Now push the orange button.
You push the blinking orange button. And the box... Fuck me. The box makes a wonk, wonk, wonk sound followed by a tired gasp. Willy's smile slowly fades.
You're still here.
He sighs. Then he brightens up.
Wait, of course, I forgot the candy. The Wonkonium is useless without the candy. This is a really wild Wonka today. Really living up to the wild in the wild world.
This is like more chaotic than some of the fan fictions I feel like we've entered. He disappears behind a large metal contraption the size of an elephant.
What's Wonkonium?
You ask.
A special ingredient I mined from the rugged mountain of the planet Vermes. Okay, so Wonkonium joins the ranks of fucking Wonka Knight and Vita Wonk. That he mines from the rugged mountains of the planet Vermes, which has to be the Vermicious Knid's planet.
It has to be.
When I mix it with my Wonka candy, amazing things happen. So he called it after himself. He found this thing on a space planet. He was like, this is mine. I'm trademarking this.
Like all other white men. Nothing new. I need everyone to know that they have all caps any term that is directly related to candy. So Fun Dip is capitalized. Wonka is capitalized.
And so is the Wonk and Wonkonium.
Yeah, like any level of Wonk. It's like, we get it. Like, we've chosen to go on your website and we're clicking through. We know what you're about, but they're just really wanting to hammer it home. He comes running back with a handful of candy. You can see some nerds and a shock tart mixed in as he loads the candy into the Wonkanizer around your waist.
Amazing things? Like what?
You ask as he closes the Wonkanizer with a quick snap. The Wonkanizer whirs and fizzles. A puff of purple steam pops out at the top.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. But if my theories are correct, it should be something incredible. Sound good to you?
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, but good. I'm glad we agree. So, enough dawdling. Are you ready?
You peer down at the blinking orange light. It glows brighter and brighter with each blink. You take a breath.
Yes. Hurrah! Now, the basic rules are that there are no basic rules. Except that if you get into any trouble, any trouble at all, just push the orange button. But push wisely. You only have a certain amount of candy in the Wonkanizer, so you may run out at any time. If you run out before you get back to the inventing room, wait, where am I going? Then we'll just have to start this whole darn thing over again, and won't that be a waste of time? All right, enough chit-chat. Let the Wonka adventure begin!
Before you can ask another question, Willy presses the blinking orange button. God, I hate the onomatopoeia is happening. Okay. Wonk, 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 wonk. The last thing you see is Willy Wonka jumping up and down, shouting,
Yippee! The Wonkonium is working! At least I think it's working. Don't forget to come back and tell me about it. Yippee!
He fades away as the Wonkanizer blows a gust of purple vapors. Wonk, 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 wonk!
See, I was reading that as wonk, 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 wonk.
It's insane. Yeah, I don't know. There's 4 exclamation points. The direction. Wonk, 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 wonk. A snowflake touches your cheek. You look up in time to see a light snowfall dancing down from the gray sky. You are standing in the middle of a large, yellow field. Willy Wonka is gone. The inventing room is nowhere in sight. You are alone.
Hello, Mr. Wonka? I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Your voice sounds very small. You look at the world around you as the silent snow covers the ground. Off in the distance ahead.
Snowpiercer?
I feel like suddenly also somebody else took over the writing near the end of this. This is a completely different voice. This is someone who was like, I have my MFA.
Yeah.
I'm going to take over now,
chicken
guys.
Shit gig I'm stuck with.
Dan, stop writing this. Go back to finance. I got this. Off in the distance ahead, you see the ocean. Close to your feet, you see a large tunnel in the ground. Your body shudders from the cold as the snowfall quickens. You put your hand over the tunnel and feel heat coming from inside. You look back at the ocean and can just barely see the tip of a ship's mast.
Oh boy.
You say to no one in particular.
Well, what do I do now? So now we can either crawl into the tunnel for warmth and wait for the snow to stop, or hike towards the ship in the hope of finding someone who can help you.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I kind of like chaos. Part of me's like, the ship?
I kind of want to see what happens with the ship too.
Because the tunnel, I'm like, makes sense. But the ship...
I'm kind of concerned that this may have to be a multi-episode thing, depending how deep this goes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we will cliffhanger. Yeah. And then we'll already know what we're doing for next week.
Yeah. Okay, so I clicked on the next thing, and the title is A Horrible Stink.
Oh, boy.
And the Unpredictable Wonkanizer has a different font now.
We have so many hyperlinks. Oh my God.
There's fucking hyperlinks.
Holy God.
There's hyperlinks.
Wait, are these real people? Hold on.
Yes, these are real people, so We're meeting people in history. They have definitions for words like galleon and also a definition for the word stink. Oh, it's if you click on it, it tells you why pirates are so stinky. Because they're teaching you about pirates. All right, let's keep going.
Let's continue with a horrible stink. You hike across the field as fingers of icy wind reach through your thin clothes.
Ew.
Goosebumps rise across your back, and arms as snowflakes stick to your hair? What? And arms as snowflakes stick to your...
Ganoulis?
So the snow here is just severed arms falling from the sky gently. Yeah. Snowflakes that stay on your nose and eyelashes.
I wonder if it's going to get less and less proofread the more we keep going.
Oh, for sure. I already see something where it's just quote, comma, quote, you answer.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be wild. Okay, arms as snowflakes stick to your hair and the tip of your nose. Icicles begin to form on the Wonkanizer. You pull your sweatshirt closer to your body and head for a ridge overlooking the ocean. Oddly, the sun shines brightly on the water, illuminating an enormous galleon anchored outside the harbor. A rowboat moves swiftly from the galleon to the shore with several people on board. You scramble down the edge of the ridge and run across the sandy beach. The boat comes closer, and one of the men shouts,
"Ahoy!" I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth.
God, I'm so excited for Pirate Felicia. You wave back.
I'm gonna hold my kombucha like a big swigging drink.
Oh, fermented.
I was really into Pirates of the Caribbean as a kid, so this is good.
You wave back. Suddenly you were overwhelmed by a horrible odor. Everything smells like rotten eggs and moldy cheese. Blue cheese? Bow, bow, bow. That was me. You wonder what could possibly stink so badly. As the rowboat gets closer, the smell gets stronger. 5 men jump into the water and pull the boat to shore. They are dressed oddly, with boots, wide-brimmed hats, and shiny swords dangling from their huge belts. A few carry shovels. The stink is definitely coming from them. You cover your nose with your sweatshirt as the men swagger over to you. One particularly smelly man asks,
"And what be your name, little one?" It's just Wonka again. Hold on. "And what be your name, little one?" Comma. There's just a comma in quotation marks.
You answer,
"Are you pirates?"
The men laugh loudly. One pulls out a sword and points it right at you.
"Aye, we be pirates in the service of Sir Francis Drake." No, it's going Wonka again. "The world's most famous privateer. He works for the good Queen Bess. So that means we never face it." Nope, it's not going. "He works for the good Queen Bess. So that means we never face punishment for no matter what we do. The Queen herself gives us permission. We can rob, we can steal, we can even fight to the death."
He puts his face close to yours. Are you going to kiss? His teeth are yellow and broken, and the smell of his breath makes your eyes water.
"We'll call you Beard. I don't suppose you'd like to join us for a treasure hunt, Beard."
You started that with such shmee energy.
Did I?
You did. "We'll call you." That was so good. Okay, we have 2 choices now. Do we join the pirates in the hope to find treasures? Or do we run away because they are way too scary and smelly?
I don't know.
We've all been in a middle school PE gym class. Smell is a lot. I don't know. I'm not getting great vibes from them.
Yeah, I'm not feeling attached to the pirates.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea of like us running away. We might still get caught, and then we might have to sneak out of the ship. Like, I just don't trust them. They've already put a sword to our face, you know? Like, and
they're calling me a beard, and I don't think it's to be a cover up for a gay marriage. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's that.
Yeah. Shall we run away then?
We're running away.
Oh no! This one's titled "Goodbye, Stink. Hello, Africa." And a message from Willy. Holy shit.
Well, I'm good. I did want to hear from Wonka again because I was worried we were going to get stuck with the fucking pirates and never hear from Wonka ever again.
I know. Sir Francis Drake, I was like, I didn't know this was a history lesson. Like, Jesus, I'll just go watch Liberty Kids on PBS.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a fun wild ride. There is no way you can hang out with this smelly bunch. They seem entirely untrustworthy, and besides, they gave you the creeps.
I gotta go.
You say as you take off running down the beach? Their laughter follows you, but luckily their swords do not. What? You come to a huge sand dune and just sit down. Dern flurp.
Dern.
The orange light on the Wonkanizer blinks in the bright sun as Willy's voice comes crackling out.
Yes? Hello? Wonka Tester, can you hear me?
I'm here.
You tell the Wonkanizer.
I just met some really stinky pirates who...
Willy interrupts you with his mumbling.
Well, I can't hear a darn thing. I don't think this Wonkanizing speaker is working.
It works, Willy! It works!
You shout. You hear Willy sigh.
Ugh! Gee, I thought I had it all worked out. Wait! Maybe it works. But my Wonka Tester can only hear me. I can't remember.
It works!
Well, if you can hear me, Wonka Tester, I have, some important news. And if you can't hear me, I guess you're up a river without a paddle. I made a slight miscalculation. I sent you with enough Wonka candy to take an adventure, but not quite enough for you to get back. So if you can hear me, like, keep your eyes open for any Wonka candy. You see it, grab it, and load it into the Wonkanizer to guarantee your safe return. And if you don't find any, well, I guess I'll just make an Unwonkanizer someday. And maybe that will undo this map. Anyway, this is Willy Wonka signing off. Ciao.
With that, you stand up, brush the sand off your clothes, and climb to the top of the sand dune in search of Wonka candy. You look around you. A vast grassland sprawls before you. The air is dry and the land is flat with a few clumps of trees. In the distance, you see a group of animals gathered around a wide watering hole. As you get closer, you recognize zebras, elephants, and gazelles. As they drink peacefully, you notice a hunter crouched under a nearby tree. His bow is drawn tightly, and his arrow is pointed directly at the nearby gazelle. Do you try to scare the gazelle away to save it from the hunter's arrow, or do you walk closer to the hunter to get a better look?
I'm gonna say walk closer to the hunter.
Yeah, because, like, you could...
I don't want to ruin his food supply.
Yeah,
I don't know where we are. Like, I don't know what's going on.
We could be, like, this could be it for us. You know, this is, we need a human on our side.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have any Wonka candy? Does the gazelle have Wonka candy?
Oh, this is a shorter one. Oh, boy. Tiptoeing with noisy feet. You've never seen anyone hunt with a bow and arrow. You tiptoe closer to get a better look. You stand behind the hunter and watch him take aim. He pulls the bowstring back, tight as it will go, and holds the arrow perfectly straight. He takes a breath, and crack! You step on a dry stick, you dumb bitch. The gazelle looks back at you, surprised as the arrow is released. The arrow misses the gazelle, sending it running away from the watering hole. The hunter turns and looks at you as he picks up his quiver and bag.
You have just scared away dinner for me and my family,
he says. When he speaks, he makes clicking sounds with his tongue. Strangely, you understand him perfectly.
In my custom, when someone frightens away your dinner, that person must make up for it. Although it was an accident, perhaps you should make up for it by joining me on another hunt.
Do you go with the hunter? Or do you apologize and set out on your own to find some Wonka candy?
Okay, so as a person, I would want to follow this guy's customs, but as someone reading this... Nice, thanks.
Yeah.
As someone reading this, 2007...
Yeah.
I feel like we're going into dangerous territory.
Yeah,
I can't imagine the unpredictable Wonkanizer is going to handle this with grace and poise and be a well-done story.
Correct. I want to get the fuck out of here, too.
Yeah. So while the guy himself, the hunter, yes, I understand what he's saying, but I don't trust this quit. I don't trust the Wonkanizer.
No. We're gonna do our best to get on out of here.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. Alone in the savannah. You shake your head no and apologize for scaring away the gazelle. The hunter can't afford to wait around, so he quickly starts off to follow the herd of gazelle. You are now alone on the African plain. The wind blows...
Sorry, I was drinking kombucha. Oh shit, I fucking broke the mug.
Oh no!
It's fine. I mean, I'm sad about it, but like, I just put things in it.
Okay.
I can hot glue it.
So you can glue... Okay, you're good. You are now alone on the African plain. The wind blows through your hair as you wonder where you should go. You look around. In a nearby clump of bushes, you see something yellow flickering.
Why would Wonka make this? Like, what does he get out of this?
This is wild. I don't know. You walk closer to investigate. Suddenly, from behind the bush, a huge cheetah jumps out at you. Its fangs and claws shine in the sunlight as it lets loose an enormous... Do you test your Wonkanizer to see if it'll get you home? Or do you run with all your might? Well, we don't have candy, but the sounds of the Wonkanizer might scare off the cheetah.
I would do that. We're not going to outrun a fucking cheetah.
We're not going to outrun a cheetah. Let's test the Wonkanizer. Oh, no, what? No, what the fuck? What the fuck? Wonk.
Guys, I could not emotionally prepare you for what happened. Nothing could have prepared me for the fact that I would click on that link and be greeted with a clip art image of President Roosevelt. In no way did I think, let me click the Wonkanizer. Yeah. Would I suddenly be with President Roosevelt?
And hear me out, he is serving more Taft energy in this photo than Roosevelt. It's a little confusing. This is now titled Wonk to the White House. Wonk, 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 wonk! A stocky man wearing little round glasses speaks from behind a podium on a wide, grassy area. They're really like saying grassy. That's like one of their favorite little adjectives. Behind him is a large white house. You stand in the middle of a huge crowd, mostly made up of men in suits.
Okay, sorry, I'm really confused about something. I need to clarify. So when we got out of the Wonkanizer, we were in a snowy world. We walked a little bit and we saw a ship, and then we went over a sand dune and we're in Africa.
Yes.
Okay. So we didn't transport. We were just in maybe another realm?
Correct, but now we've transported.
Okay. And let me tell you,
the man with the round glasses says,
that cheetah had fangs as big as my arm. I ran as fast as I could, but that cheetah kept getting closer and closer. In the end, we settled things fair and square. My skills as a diplomat served me well.
Everyone in the crowd starts laughing. You notice a large American flag hanging behind... Whoa. You notice... That was wild. You notice a large American flag hanging behind President Roosevelt. Well, you think, I guess I'm in the United States. I wonder what year it is. Then you notice something really strange. There are only 46 stars on the flag, something I immediately would also start staring at, Felicia. Doesn't the American flag have 50? A light rain begins to fall.
Drat this rain!
President Roosevelt grumbles.
Well, we'd better move the press conference inside. Unfortunately, the Oval Office can only handle a certain number of you. This group of reporters here may join me.
He points to where you are standing. Do you join President Roosevelt in the Oval Office? Or do you try to find Wonka candy so you can get back safe and sound?
I kind of want to join President Roosevelt because I want to see how we ask him if he has Wonka candy.
I'm real tempted. Let's do it.
And I feel like they can't fuck this one up as bad.
They can't.
I don't feel bad about this.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
This is just propaganda a little bit, but that's okay.
Teddy teaches some manners. You follow the group of reporters into the Oval Office. It's smaller than you thought it would be, but definitely round. Fuck that. President Roosevelt sits at his desk and invites you and the reporters to sit across from him. Fast as lightning, the reporters all jump into the available chairs, leaving you with no place to sit. Immediately, they raise their hands and shout,
Mr. President! Mr. President! I'm going to try and go more Logan Roy with my voice. Show some decorum!
President Roosevelt shouts back.
There is no need to shout.
As President Roosevelt glares at the journalists, you wander around the room, looking at the array of photographs from his hunting expeditions. Something catches your eye on a nearby bookcase. A bowl full of Wonka candy.
Excuse me, Mr. President?
You ask politely. Everyone turns and looks at you.
You see?
President Roosevelt scolds the other journalists.
Here's a person who knows how to address me properly. Yes, what can I do for you? I suppose you'd like to ask about the European political climate, or perhaps inquire about my progress with the Panama Canal. Actually, sir, I'd like to know if this bowl of candy is for anyone who wants some, or if it's just for personal use.
You hold up the bowl of Wonka candy. He smiles.
Bully for you!
He says, you wonder if this means yes or no.
You may have some, and everyone else can have some too.
The journalists murmur among themselves excitedly. You pluck out a package of Shock Tarts moments before the journalists grab for the rest of the candy.
Mind your manners, stop grabbing!
You hear the president shouting as you load the Shock Tarts into the Wonkanizer. Wonk, 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 wonk! You're back in the inventing room, and oddly enough, Willy is wearing a Teddy Roosevelt for President pin. If you'd like to take a new Wonka adventure, click here. So thus ends our journey at the White House. We basically did glass elevator.
Yeah.
Wow. This is something I would definitely love to return and do again.
In some form or another, we will be returning to the Wonkanizer.
This was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Micah. This was a
Thank you so much, Micah. I'm so glad we got to do this. This made me want to make our own. I would love to just lose my mind for 3 hours and make my own own adventure with Wonka, because clearly the rules do not exist. And we're teaching lessons about history. The Teddy Roosevelt thing, I could not have guessed that for a million years.
I don't think I could have. Ohio can't put sports bet on that. That doesn't make sense. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry.
So after doing that, what kind of prequel predictions do you have stirring in your little genius brain pot on the stove next to the Wonka news that's sold crusty now?
Will there be some sort of like politician in Wonka? Will he meet a mayor? Will Wonka meet a mayor? Will Wonka interact with a mayor? I'm going to predict that Wonka will interact with a mayor or some sort of other local official.
I like that.
You have a free pass for music-related ones because of what we've talked about. 7 musical numbers.
I'm going to predict that one of the songs that Timmy sings will have a lot of speaking in it. Well, if you don't even know what's going to happen, then that's how it's going to go. Like that kind of stuff.
It's going to be like a real like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have a sprinkling of that. So that is my prediction.
I feel like there's going to be a song that's like, we both reached for the gun from Chicago.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Like with reporters and stuff. There's definitely going to be a song with reporters.
There has to be.
There will be a song with reporters.
There's going to be a getaway song. I'm going to vote for that as well. A getaway song.
I really hope Hugo Loompa has a ska number. Imagine he does like a pop punk number.
Oh my God.
I'm running away from the police. My name's Hugh Grant, and I am about to sing my favorite song. I keep forgetting his name won't be Hugo Loompa.
I know. It's going to be like, he's going to have a different character
My
name.
name's Twiddlebum. I'm going to be like, no, it's not.
No, it's Hugo Loompa.
I guess those are our predictions. I don't think we really learned much, but that was a fun.
God, did we have fun?
It made me feel better about my fan fiction.
It did. That was hilarious, and it did actually go more in depth than I thought it would.
It was more extensive and much more unpredictable than I expected.
Yes, it really shocked me. To be shocked at this point is to say a lot. So,
yeah,
good for you. Africa got a little scary.
Yeah, I think that was
we left.
You know, I was like, I'm like, it's just gonna be rough. I'm sure. I didn't imagine, you know.
Because, like, best case scenario, we're just going to be towing an awkward line, and that's just not what we want at all.
Yes. With how they handle other things in the Wonkaverse, we don't have a good track record of handling anyone outside of British people.
We still don't know what Roald did.
Actually, I figured out what Roald did. He worked for an oil company, so...
It got worse.
Yep.
And it got worse.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Wonka Watch. What a fucking time we've had. Thank you for making the choice to listen to this episode. You chose your own adventure, and your adventure today was listening to this episode. Isn't that super fun? If you want to follow us, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch. And if you have questions, emails, suggestions for things for us to cover on the podcast, you can email us at WonkaRapture@gmail.com. We do another thing also. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch, you can support the podcast and buy us a chocolate bar. We really appreciate every donation we get. It helps us keep this podcast running, keep the lights on, and buy Fern's dog. Buy Fern's dog. Fern is the dog. Buy Elaine's dog. Fern, the costume.
Because we hit our stretch goal.
We hit our
stretch goal like 2 weeks ago, and it was to get Fern, my dog, the Willy Wonka costume, and we actually hit it. I didn't think we would, so now we get to do a beautiful photo shoot video moment with my dog wearing the Willy Wonka costume, And these are the fun benefits you can also get from Buy Me a Coffee. So we will be coming up with silly, wild things next for what we seek. So keep an eye.
So yes, our listener Courtney donated to us and helped fund the dog costume, and we will now be doing Courtney's song. Courtney just told us love the podcast. Very sweet. Thank you, Courtney. Really appreciate it. Elaine, what vibe are you feeling for Courtney's song? Anyone who donates, we do a song for them unless you ask us not to. I got to pick an instrument for you. So what are you thinking?
So, I mean, I'm torn between guitar or strings.
Strings are what came up first. So we're going to do that.
Ooh, can you choose the pop strings? That should be an option.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, I have it in a minor key.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Courtney, you have made us happy, but you have probably made my dog so sad, because she will have to wear a costume, and it might not be rad, because my dog is really snuffy, but thanks to you, she will be Willy Wonka. Thank you, Courtney. I get on bended knee and say thank you, but I'm not going to marry you. I'm sorry. I don't know you that well. We're in the middle of a Dodgers game. I'm sorry. Take down the billboard, everybody.
Get us off the kiss cam. You've read it wrong.
God.
She just bought a costume for my dog.
Shit.
I'm just learning more about GarageBand so I can do this regularly. But this is great. This is great. That was a work of art.
This is good stuff.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for letting us do that. That felt amazing. So, what have we learned? The Wonkanizer's not fucking important. I can say that solidly.
Yeah.
It doesn't even fucking work. Wonkonium, maybe. Wonkonium.
Maybe.
Do we know what it does? No. Teddy Roosevelt's probably important. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Like, I mean, just like historically.
Yes.
He has had a large impact.
Indeed.
Yargamy hearties, what a fine adventure on the sailing trip of the Wonka Watch. Oh, ho, ho, and what we always remember, what I have embroidered on the flag, it's not that important.
It's not that important.
Say it with me, the parrot on my shoulder. It's not that important.
Bye.
Bye, guys.